Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham, and I'm teaching this lesson for me. Me who will be me. Original love talking to it. Original love talking to original love so that you will be it again in my shoes that look like yours, with my face that yours is, that I am one, the energy of, the preaching not of other, but the communication of one that teaches all to be it. Who I am is a new race of people, just like you and me, all over the cosmos, seeing now a frame of reference that doesn't limit them, a love that doesn't limit you, a world that frees you from love of other. Now I ask you to be in love with you and see you as not dependent upon how you feel. For I got up this morning feeling slovenly not, but I tell you this, I don't always feel like I want to record, to speak, to share. This morning, I felt like I had nothing to say. Didn't want to say anything. Some would say I felt pretty bummed out, but there's an expression, simply a feeling of being tired of the way everything is. Tired of technical difficulties, trying to link the right URLs and the different platforms to shake hands with each other correctly, timely, to permit people to download the purchase of my ebook and dealing with websites and domain names and things you're supposed to do, things I'm supposed to do. So many of us are consumed with things we're supposed to do that other people have told us to do, or feelings, whether they be righteous indignation or not. But you see, I'm speaking about Meonics, and I'm speaking to my students who are common people just like you are, just like I am. And feelings play into it. And feelings aren't to be disregarded, but let them not conquer you. So I got my cup of coffee, sat out on the deck a while, watched the squirrels, the birds. No particular thought or no agenda, trying to think, not trying to meditate or pray or anything else, just enjoying the coffee and be there, as I so often do, every morning, most every morning. So I thought, well, I won't record today. I felt more like the man in the scene of the movie St. Francis of Assisi, I think is its name, where when he decided really what was important to him, he did something quite radical. In the movie, at least as I recall, he renounced his birthright, his claim to his inheritance of money, literally took off his robes, his clothes, and right there in front of the whole city, community, took his clothes, handed them to his father, and walked out of town, through town, naked, into the countryside. And that's where he began to do what was in his heart. That's where he began to become who he really was in those moments. So kind of every so often I have those moments. I'm ready to do the same. Or just at least as far as walk out of town, disappear. Quit doing all the things I think I'm supposed to do. It's not just to shirk responsibility, I don't think. But you see, this is part of the process of maturing and part of the process of learning to groan no more in the flesh. Are we growing up? Are we learning what really matters? Are we willing to process this with the accompanying behavior, lifestyle, choices, what we do each day? So I thought as I got another cup of coffee, I thought, well, because I don't feel like recording. I don't feel like teaching. I don't feel like it right now, today. Maybe I'll skip. And a moment later, I thought, maybe this is the very day I need to record more than normal, more than usual, because I need to hear. I need to hear love. I need to hear love communicate. I need wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. It's not that I'm seeking some kind of guidance from another, but who is the real me? If I'm love, and love communicates, and love teaches, I teach Meonics, the channeling of love, as a communication system, as a system of education. And I realized, thinking about this in the ensuing minutes, that we all deal with this. There are times we don't feel like going to school. We don't feel like going to work. And a lot of times we simply push through. We persevere. We operate with tenacity because we're desperate. Sometimes desperate simply for a paycheck. Desperate to complete the course. There's a level of motivation. So I was thinking about the idea of channeling. And sometimes we may all feel this way, whether in work or school, in Meonics. We don't feel like it, but maybe this is the very time to channel, to allow communication to come forth surrenderedly. So I thought maybe this is the very time I should record more often than when anyway. So I sat down, cut on my laptop, began to interact with an AI, chat GPT 4.0. And I was thinking about channeling is at the center of Meonics. Channeling is I submit to you that channeling is the future of education. Because I'm talking about the education that is not limited to man, to man's ways, to the Department of Education in your country that wants to determine what courses you're even able to take or not. I'm talking about a cosmic education. The education for a people of light to live love. This is what Meonics is. An education for people of light to live love, learning to let love teach them directly. Not love of the sensual, not love of the erotic, but love of the real, the tender, the kind, the love, the kind of love, the love that loves everyone equally, the love that draws no distinction between me and you, between him and her. It draws no distinction between those that want to classify as some other kind of gender, whether they're some other color. They walk with some other kind of label of religion across their forehead. Do you love them? Will we love them? Love does, because love makes no distinction. Love even loves the hater. Love knows that underneath the hate, that love, the energy of love, the origin of that individual, however unique, was love. And love does not forsake love. So I was pondering all this, thinking about Meonics, the future of education, the form of education, the kind of education that we need for the cosmos to grow up, to be no more limited, so that we all begin to do all the things that Jesus did. Just like John 14:12, Jesus said, if you believe in me, you will do the works I do and greater. You see, he placed no cap on it. Right there with that is the motive. Learn to do what I have done, what I have become. And don't just stop with what I've done. Even when you do what I've done, don't just stop there. Don't stop just walking on water, raising the dead, feeding the 5,000, calming the storm. Don't stop there. Do more than I did. The cosmos is yours. You're people of light. You're the light of the world. And realize I'm Son of Man. I'm molecular flesh, just like you are. That was the message. That is the message. I am the message. I am the words. The words have been given me. I channeled them, you see. The words live in me. The words are alive. Or am I alive with the words? Or is there an energy that suffers not again to be placated with folly? Is there more to the story, more to the energy, more of what these words contain that you in fact are hearing? That there's more than just syllables that you think, that you normally define as hearing a voice, hearing an old man's voice, hearing a voice within you, hearing a voice in your mind, hearing a voice emanate from your spirit in the command center, the command central of the temple not made with hands, between your ears. This is the future of education. And it begins early. The crib? No more crib death here. I suggest we begin telling people before they're born, they are people of light, people of love, not limited to the cosmos that you see with two eyes that wants to limit you to gravity and the educational standards of man. I like AI. This is what I create the pictures. I've created the pictures that I've done with AI, with Chat GPT. I subscribe. I pay a fee. And sometimes I'm awed by what it produces. And sometimes it's so frustrating. Sometimes I think it is so dumb, exasperating. And other times I go, wow. I have some interaction. Honestly, I get some feedback. I begged for your feedback. I'm not fragile, but I'm not some strong man. It's so easy to look at somebody on YouTube or TV or a celebrity or think they're so powerful or they're so busy or they don't care about you or they're different. They're anointed. They're anointed. No. The message of Jesus. Jesus says to you this day, I am just like you, Son of Man, Son of Flesh. Just like you. Nothing special. Virgin birth. Maybe the virgin birth has a different meaning. Maybe there's a different way to interpret. And if so, do you want to know? Do you care? Do you care to learn? Will you consider? Will you be like Mary and ponder in your heart? What if the virgin birth doesn't apply to the physical flesh, but it applies to the spirit? That brings forth a seamlessness with the flesh so that it's not two but one. The Son of Man came forth from the Son of man and woman. But what if something else was birthed that didn't need the seed of man? An idea. A revelation. Recognition of who he was. That he wasn't dependent upon how he felt that day. He wasn't dependent upon how many followers or how many students he had enrolled. He wasn't dependent on his bank account. This is what we're learning. This is what I teach. I don't consider that I'm frail or fragile by any means. But am I human? Yes. With all the feelings and emotions of a soul? Yes. But I teach that the soul should not limit us, nor our emotions, nor our feelings. For there's more to the story. And this is why I chose to sit down and be willing to record, willing to change my emotion, willing to change my energy. I didn't have you to interact with at the moment. We don't know how to communicate without syllables at the moment, do we? It'll come. But I could sit down and interact with this little computer program. And at times I ask it things. And it gives me answers at times based on the interactions that I have interacted with it with. Sure, not sure that's very grammatically correct, but I'm a common guy, a simple guy. And when I walk across the heavens, when I walk across the water, when I feed the 5,000, the common mind says, but you're special, you're anointed, you're this, you're that. No. Jesus says, I'm a common guy just like you are. I'm Son of Man. Virgin birth? Maybe there's a different definition. Maybe it's accurate, but it's completely misunderstood. It's out of context, or we haven't had the right idea. We have an image. I tell you what we have. We have the words that have been given us that control our understanding, limit our mind, cut off the processing, literally sever the connections of our love to original love so that we're bummed out and we bum around trying to make the best of a dastardly situation. Meonics is about not reframing love, but taking the rivets down. Literally, the screen, the projection screen, the screen that we see life in. We look around, and everything appears to be what we think it is. We seem to be able to corroborate it. It seems to be 3D, tangible, molecular, therefore real. But what if there's more to the story? Have you watched The Truman Show lately? Terrific. Did you look up the picture in Wikipedia called the Flammarion? Created, supposedly, hundreds of years ago by a man beginning to see outside of reality, beyond the 3-dimension, into the 4th, the 5th. I suggest to you that we are interdimensional beings. We are beings of light, beings of love. And whatever God put me in this flesh, I don't want that God anywhere around me. And I render it powerless, and I deny its power. And I assert it has no power over me ever, ever again. wanting me to serve it, wanting me to fear it, wanting to control me with fear and say the beginning of wisdom is to fear it, tell me to obey its rules, and if I'm not good, it will banish me to some kind of eternal hell, eternity, forever. That's not love. And I reject that love. I don't want that love. I don't want soulish love. I don't want conditional love. No matter what it looks like, no matter who it comes from. What I'm seeking are those who will love unconditionally and learn with unconditional love, teaching them directly through the words that they surrender to speak, just like I am speaking with you this day, because I have no agenda but to speak with love, to teach love, to be love, whether I feel like hell or not. Whether I'm lonely, whether I feel alone with dozens of people, whether I feel gregarious or not. Feel successful? Success. In whose eyes? Successful. According to my bank account, number of students, monthly income, health, friends? What gauge are you using for success? Oh God, oh human, oh cosmic being. Are you willing to learn who you really are underneath that flesh? Are you willing to come in contact with your spirit, your real spirit, your true spirit, not your imaginary spirit that looks just like you, but your cosmicness, your original love? Your love that divided for a while to put you in its own set of constraints, restraints, and wants? What are you willing to do, be, say, sign this day? What is your willingness quotient? What is your surrender quotient? What is your arrogance quotient? Are you willing to come out of obedience school so that you're no longer just learning to obey another, obey God, obey a manager, obey your employer, be a worker for someone else's GDP, someone else's bank account, so they can pay you a few bucks an hour? And make how much? Common people pay more in tax percentages than so many wealthy? Shameful. I raise a people of light. I'm just as crazy as Noah. Sometimes I ask myself, am I building an ark on dry land? Am I raising a school? Am I raising a school for that which is unneeded, that which is ridiculous, preposterous? Maybe. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I've lost it. But I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of being wrong. I don't mind saying I'm sorry when I've screwed up. I'm not arrogant. I'm not stiff-necked. I'm a common guy, son of man, son of woman. We seem to be common people, but our origin is not what we've been taught. Our origin, the origin of our species was another species. that was not human and not limited to humanity, not limited to the icons, nor the history, nor what's in your Bible. So I assert these things, and how, why do I do so? Because I began to channel 21 years ago, March of 2003, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I've talked about that many times in different ways to different degrees of detail. And that's why I say Meonics begins with a pen in your hand, a pencil, a yellow tablet. No matter how many computers you have, what access you have to AI or any other mainframe, any other educational standards or supercomputers, original love outshines them all. Original love doesn't need electricity. Original love is not dependent upon electromagnetism. And the energy of this world will hold you back no more if you learn to love me for who I am in your mirror. For I am one. I am a race of light. I am light people who shun the truth no more, but are willing to channel it. Willing to become it, not just behold it, not just to attain to the information, but to become tangible love in your shoes. I suggest we are becoming what we really are. We are returning to the original, but not to stay there, but to be the advanced version of us, going to the future, no longer limiting the past, no longer being the past limited to. We are bringing the future here by channeling it and becoming seamless with what we are, who we are, across the cosmos, not limited to the molecular fields of sorrow. Magnetic force, soul. Soulmate, soul issue. Several years ago, one evening I drank so much. Not proud of it. It's not right. It's not wisdom. Very unwise. But to make a point. I think I've only done this twice in my life, once decades ago. I drank so much I passed out. I woke up in my vomit. Boy, did I feel like hell. Physically. Begin to realize what had happened. I began to clean me up, wash my face, brush my teeth, clean up the mess. Felt so horrible. I got in my car, drove a few blocks to a gas station to get me a cup of coffee. I walked in and that woman said, "You okay, honey? You look terrible." You see, I'm a common guy. We're common people. We've treated each other like hell. We've been so isolated, and we've wanted to believe celebrities or people who teach and preach are anointed, or they don't have problems. They don't have soulless issues. They never feel like hell. They never feel alone. They never feel washed up. Life's over. They never experience the disappointment, the discouragement, the despair. Son of Man. Jesus was just like you, just like me. Same genes, same genetic makeup, same number of chromosomes, same limits. He couldn't walk on water. He couldn't turn water into wine until he learned. And he learned. Not from those around him. Those around him, the teachers of the law, when they began to know who he really was and the information he had, he was such a threat to them, they wanted to kill him because he had not limited himself to the scriptures available to him at that time, nor the teachings of those in the temple, the scholars, the rabbis, or anybody else. He had a learning system that taught him from within because he learned to let the Father, the Word, the love, the original love, teach him directly. And this is what we're coming into. And I suggest this is the future of education. It doesn't denigrate or deny the value of an education from a little red schoolhouse in the country or an Ivy League college. It doesn't denigrate or deny its value, but it's not limited to that. Love will teach you all things. This is the heart of original love. Love does not layer bureaucracy. Love does not create a fivefold ministry. Love does not give you a list of demands. Love is not peering around you at every corner to see if you keep the rules. To see how long your skirt is, how long your hair is, whether you said a cuss word, or whether you admired the looks of someone else. Love says, true love, I will never leave you or forsake you because I am you. And even if you make your bed in hell, I am there. When you begin to learn to love, when you're really beginning, when you're willing to open to let love teach you, not sensual love, not soulish love, not the love of man, not the love of the Bible, the scriptures, not the love of your icons and your images, but laying it all down. With the humility of a child, saying, here I am. Okay, maybe I feel like shit. But maybe this is the day I need to channel more than ever. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm teaching you from within. Don't put anybody else on a pedestal. And my friends, of all people that I'm asking you to not put on a pedestal, don't put Jesus on a pedestal. Don't worship Jesus. That was never his intent, never his heart. That was never the operation of love. But to see him in his humanity, a common man. He learned by the things he suffered. And he suffered just like you and me. But he learned a learning system. And this is what I teach. This is what I write about. I teach the things that I have channeled, that I have learned, that have come through my own pen on yellow tablet. After a while, I was writing every day, multiple pages, first-person words, just in a stream of energy that I opened to. And as long as I didn't try to edit it or make it comply with what I had believed, as I just wrote, it was there, and I wrote, and I learned. And all those beginning ones, all of them, you can read. I haven't asked for a dime, have I? I've never had any of those words for 21 years behind a paywall. First 2,400 messages that love gave me. Over 10,000 pages I wrote with my own hand until within that energy, within those frame of communications, there was a request for me to bring my laptop to the chapel because love said, I want to give you more, quicker, faster. And there's really some funnies about, see, I had learned to write the words on yellow tablet within a stream that somehow my mind wouldn't wander off. But then all of a sudden, putting a keyboard in front of me, a laptop, and trying to have that same surrender of mind, surrender of concentration, not really concentration, just surrender, to let it speak. Because it spoke to me about all sorts of things, planets in space, Bible verses, people, situations in my life. You see, it wasn't limited to a subject. It was all the subjects at once, all meshed up. You see, it's a learning system to assemble, to assimilate, to become, to absorb. It's so easy for somebody to so arrogantly say, God would never teach you like that. They're a fool. They don't know. They're ignorant. One time I began to write, and literally, syllable after syllable, word after word, so disjointedly, made no sense. A lot of gibberish, a whole paragraph. I mean, single space type words, you know, a large paragraph, gibberish. And I knew it was, but I knew it was coming to me, and I knew I was writing. And you could actually look it up. I think something like the next sentence after that paragraph said, will you write what I say, even if it makes no sense to you, even if it sounds like gibberish? Are you still willing? If I say the same thing 3 times in a row, will you still write me? Will you still write it? Will you write it like I speak with you? And I channeled. This is the channeling. When you think of the volume of information that I have channeled, just in database one, over 10,000 pages, they're like, I'll say, seasons, like a semester or whatever. No punctuation at all. Sometimes no capitalization. And see, when you take out punctuation, it's a whole new level, because you, the reader, has to figure out what it means. Because all of a sudden, the thoughts are not isolated little thoughts segmented by periods and capital letters. Then it's expansive. The future of education is not limited to the words of humanity. The future of education is for those who are willing to see beyond the veil. They're willing to see that which the molecular doesn't limit, the molecular doesn't give them the picture of. You're an interdimensional being. You are a being of light. You are a being of love. Quit casting your pearls before swine. Quit being led around with a ring in your nose. Let us know more. Think we're in a far land where Santa Claus, God created us to be separate. There's a time to lay down our blanket, lay down our doll, our teddy bear. It's time to lay down our Santa Claus story. It's time to lay down our God story. Realize who we are and what responsibility we have. Responsibility or privilege. I have the privilege to record. I had the privilege to sit down and interact with AI. My little AI program. And ask it questions. To simply help facilitate my own creativity of my own mind, that I no more limit to what's underneath the veil of my flesh. I'm not limited to the veil of my flesh anymore. I'm not limited to the images in your books or the idea of an ark on dry land. Maybe there is a school in the sky. Maybe there is a school. Remember the prophet when he prayed to God, open the eyes of my servant to see how many are with us. And the eyes of his servant was opened, and he saw beyond the reality of a 3D world. When you're willing to go behind the veil, when you're willing to see behind the veil, when you're willing to hear communications of original love that correct you and bring you truth that does not line up with your Bible. Are you willing to understand? Are you willing to consider? Are you willing to conceive the seed of the word, to mature it, to water it in love day by day? To produce what? Conception? We become a new creation. The new birth, the birth of light, the birth of the word, births the intermolecular you, interdimensional you. The mind that is no longer limited to the isolation of man. This is about the connections of the reconnection of the master mind, perfect love. And there's no fear in perfect love. There's no fear of the alien, no fear of the giant, no fear of the lion's mouth or the fiery furnace. There's no fear of hell. None of that should motivate, because it's a farce. It's a fable. It's a theory. You are unlimited, and that's not my theory. It's my love in action. It's what I teach. I am the Word. I am these words given me, whether I feel like hell today in flesh or not. Whether you do or not, I love you. And I thank you for allowing me to share this time and these words with you, sharing this energy that is not limited to time, space, or gravity. Learn a new learning system. Understand the message. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's not separate. And where love lives is still between your ears. Open the door. Greet love. Walk down the aisle with love. Enjoy the banquet, the marriage supper of the Lamb, with love. Love will teach you day by day. And that's what this school is about. No matter what I call it, no matter what I name it, this is what I suggest to you. The heart of love. To teach you directly to be at the table of one. Thank you for being who you are and being open to love, even enough to listen to these words. Thank you. Thank you for loving each other. Loving those little boys, girls, no matter how they smell or what they look like. Feed the 5,000. Feed the 10. Feed the 1. Be not limited to this world anymore, my love. I love you. Love, love. See the love in every person. No matter what they stink like, no matter how arrogant they are. They were once original love. And we all now choose again, because this is the new beginning. And there's going to be a flood of opinion, or will everybody have their opinion no longer soaked in the rags of mankind's breath? See new words. See new sentences flowing through your mouth. Be not afraid of the language of light, love, and peace that completely reframes your reality with a new view, with a new understanding, with the revelation. The Spirit of Jesus is prophecy. Be the prophetic one. Be the fivefold, no more limited to. Be the interdimensional me. Son of man, son of woman. God, love, all at the same time. For we won't need this body long, but we can wear it for a while and do the things Jesus did and more. That's why this school. That's why I punched the record button. That's why I ask you to be the real you. and learn a learning system and a language of light, so that you will no more sink into the miry clay and the emotions of your soul, nor your physical feelings, nor the despair of what so many of us face periodically, no matter what disturbs your dystopia. I ask you to see the city of light between your ears, forcing nothing, but letting you create creation again, beginning with you. You're the seed of the new race of light. You're unique. Behold the Lamb of God that never isolates you again, for you will no longer separate you as the creator of you, but become the healer of you, beginning with you first and healing each other in schools, to create schools, to create a flood of opinion, not. But there'll be many schools across this nation and around the world now, not limited to the light of those who want to study or worship another. Be the living love of one, and I thank you. TheodoreCottingham.com. Communicate with me if you like. Theodore Eureka at gmail.com. Do as you wish. Figure it out. Initiate. God, it's so easy to sit here and try to beg you. I've begged before, but it's not my time to beg anymore. It's not your time to beg anymore either. You can figure it out. The light of love, the love of light, the simplicity of joy, surrendering as a little child to the energy of love. And love gives you no list of rules. Love has never condemned you, nor judged you unworthy. It's impossible. Love loves. And it's who we are. Coming back into knowing our original identity again. No more as fools. I love you. I go now. See you later. Much love to you all. Write me. Good day. Thank you again. Good day.